Let's be honest, applying for a US federal government job can feel like you're launching your resume into a total black hole. Well, today, we're cracking that code. We are going to give you the roadmap to navigate the entire, often confusing process, all the way from the moment you hit apply to your very first day on the job.
Right? You've been there, you find the perfect job on USAJobs, you spend hours on your application, you hit submit, and then silence. It's frustrating. If you've ever felt that way, you are definitely not alone. We are going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly what's happening behind the scenes.
Okay, here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about the different ways to even get your foot in the door. Then, we'll break down that super long hiring timeline, the maze. We'll also decode what it actually means when you get that referred status. And finally, we'll walk through what to do when you get an offer, and, yes, how to navigate the hurdles and even seal the deal.
So, first up, let's just get our heads around the process itself. Look, the federal hiring system has its quirks, for sure. It can be a little intimidating, but knowing the rules of the game, that's your biggest advantage. So, let's dive in.
All right, next, let's figure out how you actually get in. You see, not all paths into the federal government are the same. It really depends on your background, your experience, and what an agency is looking for. There are actually a few different doors you can walk through.
So think of this as the two main lanes on the highway to a federal job. On one side, you've got the standard competitive process. It's thorough. It's the scenic route, let's say. But on the other side, you've got direct hire authority, or DHA. That's the express lane. Agencies use this when they have a critical need and have to fill a job like yesterday. It lets them bypass a lot of the usual steps.
And for students or recent grads, there are these amazing dedicated on-ramps. They're called the Pathways programs. You've got internships, special positions for recent graduates, and even the super prestigious Presidential Management Fellows program if you have an advanced degree. And the key thing to remember here is that these aren't just summer jobs. They are literally designed to be a direct path to a permanent federal career.
Okay, so you've applied. You know you're a perfect fit for the job. And then? Crickets. This is the part that drives pretty much everyone crazy. So why on earth does it take so long? Let's pull this timeline apart and see exactly where the holdups are.
Believe it or not, the government's own official goal from their own initiative is 80 calendar days from posting to starting. 80! But if you talk to anyone who's actually been through the process, they'll probably tell you that 80 days is optimistic. It's often just the starting point. So here's where all that time goes. You can really break it down into 4 big chunks. The first 2 weeks or so are just about getting the job announcement ready and posted. Then, HR can spend up to a month just reviewing all the applications. The next couple of weeks are for interviews and selection. But that last phase, security and onboarding, oh yeah, that's where the timeline can really stretch. The very first bottleneck happens right after that job posting closes. Just try to imagine the absolute flood of applications that HR has to sort through. It can take them anywhere from 10 to 30 days just to sift through everything and figure out who even meets the basic qualifications.
Now, listen to this because this is the real kicker. The longest wait, the biggest delay, often happens after you get a tentative job offer. That's right. The security and background investigation is a massive undertaking that can easily take 1 to 3 months, and sometimes, honestly, even longer. And then, one day, finally, an email, an update. Your status on USAJobs changes to referred. Woohoo! It feels like a huge win, right? But what does that actually mean? Let's break it down.
Okay, so being referred means you've officially passed the first big test. HR has looked at your resume and said, yep, this person is one of the top candidates. Your name is now on a shortlist. They call it a certificate that goes right to the desk of the person who's actually doing the hiring. You're in the game now.
But, and this is so crucial, referred does not mean interview. A hiring manager might get a certificate with, say, 20 or 30 highly qualified people on it, but they only have time to interview maybe 5 or 6. So here's the takeaway. Absolutely celebrate being referred. It's a great step, but do not stop applying for other jobs.
So let's say you got the interview. You nailed it, it went great, and the hiring manager wants to bring you on board. Fantastic. But what happens between that conversation and your first day? Let's look at the whole offer process.
So the first thing you'll probably get is something called a tentative job offer, or a TJO. The best way to think about it is a yes, but offer. It's totally conditional on you passing all the background and security checks. It's only after you clear all of those hurdles that you'll get the final firm offer with an actual start date.
And it's really important to know what kind of background check you're going through.
A public trust investigation is all about suitability for the job. Are you reliable? Are you trustworthy? A security clearance, though, that is a whole different ballgame. That's a deep, deep dive into your entire life. For jobs that handle classified information and national security, it's a much, much longer process.
Okay, you've made it. You cleared the background checks, and that final, firm offer is on its way. But hold on, don't sign on the dotted line just yet. There is one more critical step that a lot of people miss: negotiation.
And honestly, this is a total game changer. So many people think federal salaries are just set in stone, but that is not entirely true. Now, you can't really change your pay grade. That's set by the job. But you can often negotiate for a higher step within that grade. If you've got superior qualifications or maybe even a competing offer, you've got leverage.
But to be successful here, you need a strategy. First, know exactly what grade and step they're offering you. Second, build a strong case for why you deserve more, using your specific qualifications. Third, ask for an exact step. Don't just say you want more. And finally, and this part is absolutely non-negotiable, get the final agreement in writing.
All right, let's just boil this all down one more time. Key takeaways. Remember, this whole process is a marathon, not a sprint, averaging over 80 days. Seeing that referred status is a great milestone, but it's not a guarantee of anything. Be prepared for the security check to be the longest wait of all. And maybe, most importantly, remember that you can and should negotiate your salary by focusing on those pay steps.
So there you have it, the entire federal hiring process demystified. It's a long road, for sure, but now you have the map. It's going to take patience, it's going to take preparation, but it is absolutely doable. So, the only question left is the one right there on your screen.